Good morning. Good morning. We'll sing the whole day through. Good morning. Good morning to you. Sorry. Good morning. How are you guys this morning? I have been scrambling, trying to gather all the things and bring them into the kitchen so that we can play today. So hopefully I have enough. Um, I have all the things that we need. We will see what happens. Let me make sure I'm streaming because I'm flying solo this morning. Well, every morning I'm solo. You guys know. Yes, I see me on Facebook. I'm sorry. I'm all alone today. Hey, Deborah, how are you this morning? So I am just checking to make sure that I'm live like I'm supposed to be. And I am still in the kitchen. So I had to go outside and gather all the things from the shed. Not all the things. There's no way I can bring all the things from the shed in the house, but enough so that we're able to play the game. I was gonna try and cheat, and oh, it still says up and coming. Why? We're able to play the game. I was gonna try and cheat. Oh, okay, there it is. That's weird. Interesting. Huh. Okay, sorry. So I was gonna try to cheat and like pull my sticks before and then pull out a bunch of stuff, but we would need. But I don't think that I could. I might unintentionally cheat if I do that, and I didn't want to do that. Good morning, Elizabeth Geesey. Now I know. I hope I said that right. Crafting with Tracy Hugs. Hey Tracy, how are you this morning? Hello, fornication. How are you doing this morning? Um, I know, Deborah, it's good to see you guys. I have been MIA. I know. I've just been missing in action, but um, we have been so busy. Hey, Karen, we've been so busy. And the mishap. So everyone's probably wondering, like, why haven't I fixed my cooler yet? So my studio space is basically like it's a mini shed, right? We just finished it out, it insulated it, and um, I almost said electrified it. That would not be right. We ran electric, like all the things, so it could function as a studio. And the cooler that we have in there is like a step below a split level. If you know what I'm talking about, you know. Like a split level, like the one we have at our house, is like a couple of grand. That one's not a couple of grand, but it's not just a couple of $100s either. So we have to replace it. I'm so sad. I'm so sad. We have to replace it, and we hadn't really planned for that. So we are going to have to make do until we can figure it out. And that's where we are with that. So we may be in the kitchen for a while. I was talking last night about the fact that I think that it may just be a reminder for me, right? Just to remember how blessed I am, and kind of like how far we've come in our business, because I started going live in my living room years ago. So I'm in the kitchen now because it makes more sense. I know. Why was I in the living room? Anyways, I digress. I'm going to be in the kitchen probably for the next few weeks, which means we're going to have some limitations. But sometimes when you're creating, limitations can help you, right? Because then you're only functioning in a little box and you don't have as many ideas. And it can help your brain, especially when your brain is like mine. Um, hey, Tammy, how are you this morning? Hey, I almost said Deborah. Lord have mercy. Hey, Dorothy, how are you doing this morning? Hey, Chris. I know. I know. So we're back in business. This morning we're working, and you guys know we play the game. So if you're new, I'm sorry. My name is Royce Hunt Bell. I am the founder, owner, and operator of Roycycled Treasure. I would love if you said hello and let me know where you're joining me from. We meet here every Monday for Mad Scientist Monday, and we play a game. I have this can of sticks. And if you want a copy of this game, you can grab it for yourself. Let me see. I think I have a QR code for the game. I do. Ah, ah, ah. Here's a QR code. If you want to, you can snag a copy of the game and you can make it for yourself so that you can play along with me on Monday morning and pull your own sticks, or you can just play with me and you can just do whatever the 4 sticks that I pull and play along that way. I like to think of this as kind of a co-working session. I know for many of us, we work better when we're working with somebody. And so this can be a co-working session where you can carve out time to create in your schedule and create with me on Monday morning. So I'm going to pull out 4 random sticks and then I'm going to have to create using them. And I have my Roycycled journal is what I'll be working in today. This one, I don't, what do I, oh yeah, I do have stuff in this one. Okay. I still have my plastic. We were talking about ways to lay down paint. And this was my, you know how you have one that's like done already and you have one that you go through the steps with? This was the one I went through the steps with, but I do want to record me taking the plastic off so that when I edit that video, I have that piece. So let me point you guys down to the table so we can get down to the good stuff. Let's swap places. Oops. Between me and, okay, the table. That's not very, I wish that was zoomed in a little bit more. Oh, I miss Switcher Studio when I used to be able to zoom. Let me make an adjustment to my camera really quickly. StreamYard, if you're watching, you really need to have a zoom feature. Just say it. 1 second, you guys. I think that's going to be better. A little bit better. Anyways. Is that better? Or much closer, right? Okay. You know what, Tammy? Thank you for asking. I am fine, girl. I am still trying to catch up from my visit to New York. My bed schedule is all jacked up still. Good morning, Carrie. Hey, Rajani. Let's sing show to girl. Good morning, Nancy. You guys do not want me to start singing for real. Oh, are you in Chandler? I don't think I knew you were that close to me. We're 97 degrees. We're generally cooler than you guys, generally speaking, because we're at a higher elevation. But yes, it's been extremely warm. It's already 97 degrees and it's only 10 o'clock in the morning. So it's been wild. Let me readjust. I want to make sure. I notice when I edit my videos, I'm always close to the bottom. So I'm going to move this up a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to pull this off really quickly. And this is more for the camera than for you guys. But we did a session on ways to apply paint. And we used the plastic to do this one. I love the way you end up with these really yummy marks. You guys see those when you do that. And when you let your plastic dry first, you really do get to keep all that yumminess. So let me pull my 4 sticks and then we'll decide which page we're going to use out of the Roycycled journal. And I'm closing my eyes. You guys can see me, right? 1, 2. And if I pull 2 from the same like category, I'll replace one of those. But that's only happened like once or twice. So stencils under decoupage paper. Ooh, I have to use a vintage paper. I don't know if I have any vintage paper. I might cheat on that one. Oh, a metallic underpainting. It's funny because I was going to bring out metallics, but I did. Oh, I got underpainting twice. So I'm going to go back in. This is white underpainting, which is kind of boring. So I'll put that one back, and then we'll get something from a different category, hopefully. And texture. Physical texture over paper. Okay, so I have a metallic underpainting. I have vintage paper to use for in collage. And can I cheat, you guys? I don't have vintage paper out, but I do have some gel prints. I pulled these out that I've made. So I'm gonna cheat and use these just because I'm a little bit handicapped because I'm not in my space. And I have a ton of vintage paper, but if you guys know what it's like looking through a ton of something, you can imagine what that would be like. So I'm just going to use one of my like DIY collage papers instead. And then stencil under my decoupage paper. That should be interesting. And then I have to do physical texture over my paper. Oh, wow. Usually I cheat and I do physical texture with a stencil, but the stencil is under the paper and the texture is on top of the paper. So we'll see what happens. Let's see. So I don't have, let me see. We have a little bit of collage, metallic underpainting. Let's look for, and these are some of our other pages that we've done together. Super fun, right? How many of you are using your Roycycled, right, Dorothy? It was made a while ago, but so it is technically. And not all of my pages I love. Like this one, I'm feeling okay with. Oh, and I want to show you guys. I don't know if you guys did this page with me, but I had used my roller because we had rolled out some. One of the challenges was to use metallic paint on top of the paper, and I used a stamp to get this texture, but I had rolled off on a piece of tissue, and I took those roll-offs and I just collaged them right over the top, and you see how that tissue just disappears, and you just end up with whatever paint is on top of that. I love that so much. And so I think I did this after our live was over, but this one was a fun project. This one, not so much. This one's not. I don't think I learned stuff, right? I learned something from this, but I wasn't exactly happy with the final result. This one I like, but I wish I had a little bit more contrast. I feel like everything is kind of like, as far as the value, everything is kind of same. But you know, every time we work, we learn something new. I'm trying to think of what will be fun, considering I want to save her because I like to paint her. If you haven't grabbed your Roycycled journal yet, let's do this one. This is just good. This is a velvet spice cake recipe is what this one is. So let's do this one for today. I'm trying to think what else is in here. The pages are like a card, it's kind of like a cardstock. So you guys see that we've done like collage and we've done stamping and all kinds of things. And the pages held up really well. It's because of the thickness of the paper. We did this one together, right? So, ooh, what about the music sheets? I think I'm feeling this page. Let's do this page. I think I'm going to do more of these pages in my next journal. Okay. We'll do this one. I always lean towards the right side of my journal, which I know. I think what I'm going to do is just work on all the right sides, and then when I'm done, I'm going to flip it upside down and work on the left sides. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I've decided. For better or for worse, that's the plan. And I didn't bring a clamp, but I think I should be okay. And the cool thing about these journals too is that these pages aren't just glued in. The signatures are sewn together. You can see the thread there. The signatures are actually sewn together, and then they're glued into the book. So these are really well made. And the cover feels so yummy. I always have to touch it whenever I get ready to work. So let's see. We're going to do a metallic underpainting, but I don't want to use all metallic. You know what? This is what I want to do. So every time we've gotten together, we've had a session about different ways to apply paint that don't include using a paintbrush. So today I want us to look at using sponges. and kind of the benefits and what we can create using sponges. Let me grab my, oh, there it is, my misting spray bottle. I thought I've left that. I always like to wet my sponges before I use them so that they become really pliable. I'm off camera, I'm just spraying this. I just don't want to get my book all wet. And then I'm going to spray this one too. And you guys see what this is, just a regular, oops, this is just a regular kitchen sponge, right? It even still has a little scrubby on there. And so we're going to apply paint using our sponges. And then I think I am going to go in with a white primer, and then we'll just add some metallic because it didn't say how much metallic I have to use. It just says I have to use metallic in my underpainting. So let's start off by creating a surface for us to work on. And these pages really do give you a beautiful jumping off point for your projects. So for this one, I don't want to cover it completely. I'm going to leave some of my script showing through. And I am using Pinch Arch Primer Paste today for my piece. And let's start with this sponge. I've been using these sponges on my more representational art pieces because it enables me to put down a nice smooth surface, like a really nice, with no brush marks or anything. And so that's why I like using this one. And if you're using multiple colors, this is, oh man, I got a little bit too much water on there. Hold on one second. If you're using like multiple colors, I'm just squeezing some of that water out. I may have gotten a little carried away. You can blend colors beautifully using a sponge. And so I just like to dab it. And if you dab lightly, you don't even have brush marks. So if you are wanting to create like something that feels like atmospheric, right? Like not like a clouds, but you guys know what I mean. Sometimes you want your paint to just feel more ethereal. You don't want to have brush marks. A sponge is a beautiful way for you to be able to, I want to make sure I have enough light, but that might be too much. Okay. And maybe I should have colored this so you guys could actually see it. Let me do that. What do we want to do? I don't know what is up with me in purple lately, but let's do a little bit of purple in our, because I know you guys can't exactly see that white. So I'm going to add a little bit of color so that you guys can actually see what it looks like when it's laid down. And I'm twisting my sponge, right? This one is a little bit harder because it has square edges on it, but still. And I love this because I can keep layering color on if I want, but I've done a few layers and you can still see the script underneath. But you see how there's no brush strokes. It looks really ethereal. And so I like to use these sponges when I'm doing that kind of application. Now you guys have seen me use my sea sponges before, and you see all those nooks and crannies. They create such beautiful marks on your paper. And have you guys ever tried to do something organic? Like if I have a brush and I say I'm going to do some really organic dots, like my mind right away wants to make it symmetrical, right? It's so hard for us to intentionally make things like organic, where it's not either symmetrical or balanced. And so having all these nooks and crannies really does make it easier to be able to do that. And since I already used this color, I'm going to use it again. Hey, Karen. Yeah, Tammy, right? I'm missing comments. I'm sorry, I'm by myself. Deborah, use it. You're going to make beautiful stuff. And David had such a good idea. Hey, Lori. Can you explain how the gel plate works? I don't understand them. You know what, Elizabeth? I'm probably going to start doing something with the gel plates in the future. But who is it? Gingy is doing gel plates on the Pintart page. I think she's going to do something every week. So check out the Pintart USA page because she's been doing gel plate stuff. But yes, The gel plate is fabulous. We've actually done 2 sessions in the gel plate inside of the Roycycled membership. But maybe I'll start squeezing it in somewhere. We'll see what happens. But I'm going to take my sponge with all its nooks and crannies, and I'm going to pick up some paint. And you guys have seen me use this with my leather look, because you're able to lay down like marks that really are organic. Like I would be hard pressed to be able to do this and have it be truly organic on my own, because I would be tempted, right, to like really make everything symmetrical. And so sea sponge, to me, I love it because I'm able to lay down really organic marks. And then the regular sponge I love because I'm able to create like really like texture-free ethereal applications with the regular sponge. And like I have a kitchen sponge because they're inexpensive. I think I got this at Dollar Tree. But there, if you're like, you know, if you're bougie, there are sponges, little round ones that are just for art. So you can use those too. So I did want to go over another way that you can apply paint to your Roycycled journal that does not include brushes. I think this is, I'm trying to get positioned here so that when I make a video for you guys, it comes out good. I don't know why. I'm so spoiled. I'm so used to my big old table outside. This one is smaller. We've done brayers, we've scraped, we've done like, you know, these. We've done the plastic method. We've done the sponges. I think we've done everything. Oh, I think I have one more. Have we done spatulas yet? I don't think we have. So I think we have one more. But once I get done with all the demonstrations, I'll make like a handout for you guys. I sound like a teacher, right? A handout. I do love teaching though. I'll make a handout for you guys so it'll be handy. And if you have the electronic version, then it will have the link to short videos actually demonstrating each of the items, so that when you go to look at applying brush with a sponge, you can click through and there'll be a short version of the demo that I just did today. So let's get to business. I don't know what I want to do today. It doesn't tell me. I'm going to be doing decoupage. I know that. The vintage paper, we're going to use collage paper. I'm going to cheat. We're going to be doing texture under and over. No, we're doing metallic under the paper. And we're doing a stencil. Oh, so let's do a metallic stencil under the table. That was easy. I'm actually probably more organized in here than I am in my shop. I have all of my stencils here with my stamps. I'm trying to decide if I want to do something pretty today or if I want to do something kind of grungy. I'm thinking we start off with the purple. So I'm going to be leaning towards pretty. So I want to do a metallic stencil underneath the paper. And you guys know I love pale gold, but the paper is so warm, although we have some purple right there. Oh, what if we do something a little Halloween-y? Halloween is right around the corner. Let's do that. I have these. They look like spider webs. Let's do something a little Halloween. I don't know what it's going to look like, y'all, because I have no plans. But we'll just lead with that, and we'll see where it takes us. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit more purple. And do it because you guys know I love a good halo. So we'll do it a little bit more, and we'll create a bit of a halo, not like completely, but just like I don't know. Because I want to use the pale gold, but I need to have it on top of a color, right? If I use it on top of this white, then we're not going to be able to see it. So we'll just use our sponge to create a vignette, is what a photographer would probably call this. I do want to make the corners a little bit darker because that's where I'm going to put the stencil primarily. Oh, see, my mind is going now, you guys. It takes me a few minutes for her to get going, but once she gets going, sometimes she takes off without me. So I'm going to see if I can keep up. Okay, so I think that's good. Let me dry this just a little bit. Now, Fornication by Design, I'm thinking Jessica is your name, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, because I am horrible with names, but I'm almost sure. Why did I not know that you were in the Valley? We should have gotten together by now to do something, to collab in some kind of way. Although I think I've sent you papers, so I should have known that, right? What? Okay. It's Kelly Morgan. Okay, Kelly, I'm sorry. I don't know why I want to call you Jessica, girl, because I think we've had this discussion before. So, Kelly, we need to get together. Um, Not right now, because it's too hot in the Valley. I will not be in the Valley again until the end of October, November-ish. I do not come to your town in the summer. It is way too hot. So we have that, and I think I did pull out some. You know what would have been cool if I would have had some orange gold, just because we're doing Halloween. But I don't have any. I do have my favorite pigment. This is Posh's pigment, and this is pale gold. You guys, if you've been with me, you know I love her so much. It is so pretty. Oh man, I don't have any clear coat. It's okay. So I'm gonna put a little bit of pigment. I'm not gonna make a lot because we're just gonna do this one stencil. So I don't need a ton. And let's see, I have clear gesso. I don't think, I'll use some decoupage medium. That's what I have. I don't have any clear mediums or clear coats pulled out. So we'll just use, I have some Pen Tart decoupage glue and varnish. This is matte. If I had Silky Shine, that would probably be better, but I don't know that I do. Wait. Nope, that's matte too. Well, hails bells. Whenever I'm doing a metallic, I usually prefer to do a glossy because you're gonna get like more shine. But it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. And we're just gonna put some of that decoupage medium in there. This actually may be better because we're gonna end up with something more like a paste. And for stenciling, that actually can be better, right? Because it's less likely to run underneath the stencil. Necessity is the mother of invention. Did I just like come up with a process for a stencil paste out of necessity? I think so. You guys, this is why I love experimenting. If I were doing something perfectly planned out, I would have made sure that I had clear coat to be able to mix with this pigment, and I would have never thought to use the decoupage medium. But because we're working on the fly and we're experimenting, now I've accidentally created a process that I will probably use over and over again. Because this thicker medium is going to be less likely to go underneath my stencil, and it's going to help me get a clean stencil. Let me see if I have, I'm going to have to use my sponge. Ah, it's purpley, but here, we'll tear it. It'll be fine. And we'll use this clean part right here. So you can use a makeup sponge, you can use a stencil brush. I'm just going to use this sponge for my stencil. And even if it's not perfect, it's going to be okay just because my sponge, like you guys see all that texture. So I'm not sure. Let's see if I can use the side of it. I'm going to use this flat side, I think, because that's going to give me a better result. I think if I go in with the texture, I don't know what would happen, but I'm feeling like it wouldn't be good. So I'm going to go in pretty heavy on the edges. And I'm just making sure that I hold my sponge down. I didn't put a ton of product on my sponge, even though I know it's less likely to run underneath because it is thicker. You guys think I'm kidding. This process is going to become part of my process whenever I'm stenciling. if I'm mixing my own stuff. Because a thicker medium does make it a lot easier to get a clean stencil. And I do want some around the edges, but I just want it to be more pronounced in these two corners. Ooh, can you guys see that? And I'm gonna have to decoupage over that, so we'll see. Oh, there you go. You guys see that? How pretty is that? So we'll see how much of that like shows through the paper. I don't know. And I'm not gonna use the same corner. Let me dry this so I don't smear it. Smear. We don't want to smear it. Hey Michelle, how are you this morning? Hey Carrie. Hey Joni. I think I missed some other comments too. Oh Lord. Oh, okay. That's Kelly. Okay, I got you. Yes. We'll figure out something. Because we can even video it. Okay. I'm really loving this. We might see this pop up again somewhere else. And that's the thing about your journals and about your time where you play and experiment is you may discover something, and just because you do it in your journal doesn't mean that you can't do it somewhere else. So you guys remember I don't have it in this journal, it's in another one, the page we did where we used the pastel ground, and we used the pastel to over the recycled paintable decoupage paper. I've already done a clipboard because I love that process so much. And it's just crazy to me that I would have never, ever, ever, maybe not never, I don't know. I don't see me ever coming up with those specific steps any other way than playing and experimenting and messing around. Just because I don't think I would have ever thought that the paintable paper would even work over dark, a dark surface. So I was super happy with that result, and I've already done one project. So there'll probably be more because I liked it a lot. Okay. Oh, I love that so much. Doesn't that look like beautifully spooky? You guys see that one? So the corners are different, right? But they're balanced because they have the same kind of weight. So I'm going to dry this, and then we'll figure out what decoupage paper we're going to use. I do have some Halloween paper pulled out, but I think if I use that over the top of this, we might lose a lot with the gold, and I'm really hoping that we can keep that. So we're going to need to use something that's fairly light. So let's see. So far, we've done just the metallic underpainting. Oh, and we've done both. So we did a metallic underpainting, and we did stencils under the paper. So we've done these two. Woo-hoo! And if you're wanting to play along and you want to know what sticks I have because you missed it or you came in late, let me know. Where did you get that stencil? Oh my goodness, Rhonda. This is probably, I go on Amazon and they have like these stencil packs and you get like a bunch of them. And I'm pretty sure that this is one of those. I can look, Rhonda, and put up a link to see, but I have this for a while, but I'll look for it and I'll put up a link later. But over the purple, isn't that fabulous? And look, I still have too much of this gold. We'll have to figure out where else to use it. Maybe we'll use it over the paper. So I have my stack of decoupage paper here. Look, I'm actually more organized. Maybe I should minimize like what I have available. Let's see. These are like Christmas angels. We don't want to mix up our angels with the Halloween. I don't want to dismiss this one. So let's maybe that one. This one is not Halloween specifically, but it's really warm and yummy. So I just want to hold on to that one. And when I say Halloween, it could be like dark academia, right? It doesn't have to be like straight up Halloween. So maybe this page, I don't know. Well, hold on. I'm just going to narrow it down first, and then we'll make a choice. I brought this out because I wasn't sure if we're going to need texture, but I don't think. I love this paper so much. This is the end paper, decoupage paper. No maps. Some of these, like these two, I'm going to keep that one out. And this is the Halloween paper. I used this one last night on our live, on our chatting and crafting. But I feel like this is, I don't know. If we use the ladies, I wish this was a little bit bigger because this would be fun to use because it is lighter. But I think that if we're going to make the ladies the star, we just want something to serve as a background. How did I not bring out any white paper? I'm fired. That's what I need. I do have, let's see, that's the angels. I have the angels compliments. We'll use that. So I'm thinking we're going to use these two right here. I don't want to, I'm going to leave that one there too. And that one. Okay. We've narrowed it down at least. And this is, so for the new release, we have the Roycycled. And you guys, I am terrible because I named it Angels, and then somewhere in the process, because for me, it's like a few months from conception to release. And I renamed the paper. I started off with Angels, and then I decided on Guardian Angels. So I got to look at my stuff and figure out what I finally landed on. But this is light enough, right, that I think that it can serve as a really nice background, and it does have those warm tones that we would want in something that was kind of Halloween-y. And I'm kind of digging this frame right here because we have topography already, so I don't have to look for that. Because if I wanted more topography, then I could choose one of these areas, right? But I think that having kind of a frame in the middle is going to be really cool. So I'm trying not to get it in the gold paint here. So I'm thinking we're going to go with this one. And I'm going to do the same thing I do when we're working on projects. I'm going to just run my finger along this right here. And I'm using regular scissors tonight because I remembered to bring them. Y'all should have seen my rusty scissors I was using last night. Sad state of affairs. And so we're going to trim this because we can see exactly where we need to trim. And this paper looks plain, but when you get it in your hands, you see the texture, and there are actually elements in the background. It is meant to be a background paper, so nothing is super loud, but there's actually like pattern, there's texture in here. And so sometimes it's hard to really show you guys online, because even in the areas where it looks like it's white, there's stuff there. And when you decoupage over a light surface, you see it even more, which I'm thinking that I'm going to want to go, what do I want to do? Do I want those words to show through? I'm thinking that I am going to go in this middle right here and just add a little bit of white, just so my elements aren't competing with each other. I don't want to get rid of that completely. I just want to, oh, that's the gel medium. That's the wrong jar. I don't want to get rid of the script completely. I just don't want it to compete with the foreground. So I'm going to go in and we're just going to like dab that on in the middle where I think that just where the frame is. And I'm just creating visual space so that frame can stand on its own without competing with the paper that's underneath. But I still want it to come through because the layers, that's where the magic happens, is all the layers. But you do want to kind of prioritize the layers, if that makes sense. Oh, Rajani said she put up a Christmas tree and she put ghost Christmas past. Oh my gosh. It went over like a lead balloon. I thought that would be funny. Hey Kathy, we missed you too. Although I cannot wait to hear about Hawaii and all the wonderful food you ate. That's what I want to know. The girls will probably have different questions, but I want to know about all the food you've eaten that you ate when you were there. So I'm gonna dry that. I think I should put down, let me see. I'm gonna put down one more layer. I want to push that back a little bit more. And I don't have a hook on my table in here, so I'll be fighting about where to put this dryer all day or all morning. It is already 10:40. I don't know how that happens, you guys. Okay. Okay, that's better. I think that's going to be good. And so if you guys are looking for a primer paste, Pentart does have a gesso. This is a white gesso. They call it primer paste, but it is a white gesso. I have a huge jar. You don't have to get a big jar like this, but it is an option. And if you're not sure, you can buy one of the small jars. Okay. So, we are going to decoupage this. So now I'm following the rules, right? Because I would just put this in the middle, but we have to decoupage over, right, our metallic, because that's the challenge. So we'll see how much of that metallic shows through. And I'm going to mist my paper. I do want my paper to be very transparent, so I'm going to mist it pretty good. I'm not going to use the gel medium though, because I don't want it to be like super transparent, but I do want that gold and purple to show through. So I'm going to mist my paper pretty good. And then I thought I washed my brushes. I don't want to use that brush. I guess I'll use this one. It's a little bigger, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. And I am using Arts Decoupage Varnishing Glue, and I'm using the matte formula because that's what I have. I prefer matte over shiny, but if you like shiny, you can get the gloss. And you guys know that when you are decoupaging, if you have like acrylic products on your table, you can use your matte or gloss medium to decoupage. If you have like chalk style paints in your craft area, you can use your water-based sealer to both adhere and to seal your decoupage paper. So you guys don't have to use exactly what I'm using. You probably already have, right? What you need. And I'm going to go right over that. And you guys see how, we'll look at it in a few minutes when everything is dry. But when I mist my paper, it doesn't respond to the moisture of the medium, so then I don't get wrinkles. It is my best, right now is my favorite way to decoupage. If you go to my YouTube channel, you'll hear me say that about different methods over time. But my YouTube channel is about 5 years old, 6 years old. So I'm always learning. Hopefully, right? That's the case. And the 18-pound tissue really does, is a lot more forgiving. If this were a napkin, it would be shreds right now, right? And you're less likely to get a design this big on a napkin. Oh, I love that so much. And so you guys can see how by painting this area white, you can almost see it, right? We've really pushed back. I can still see the letters a little bit, but they're not competing because I'm going to want to put those ladies inside of this frame. My brain, oh man, I didn't bring out my fussy cutting scissors, but it's okay. It's fine. I can use regular scissors. I'm going to go ahead and set this aside. My fan is actually on, so I'm going to put this over here, and maybe my fan will dry that while we cut out our subjects. I'm thinking that these two would be good for this, but let's look at all of them. I mean, nobody looks scary, right? But the one that screams, this one is so fun, right? Sorry. For some reason, or maybe we should use her, but she has her own frame. We could use our doggy. Why do I love this so much? I love this so much. But I am just feeling like these girls are the ones that belong in there. What do you guys think? You know what, Jackie? I think, was it you that asked me to make a smaller one or somebody else? I think that's interesting. It's on my list of things to consider. I will say that. The reason why I made it the size that I made it was because most of my people do like home decor. And so I wanted them to be able to practice, you know, and experiment with products that are scaled to use with home decor. But I will absolutely consider making a smaller one though. I'm glad you loved it though. I love making it, like seriously. I think I was grinning the whole time. I think that's why you guys like it, because I was smiling the whole time that I was making it. I'm being a little cheap over here. I'm trying not to cut any extra stuff unless I have to. And maybe we should use her. We used her already though, right? We used her when we did our paper doll. I don't know if you guys remember that one. It was a wall, a mixed media wall piece. But she feels like she belongs on this page. I'm going to cut it out and then we'll decide. We can use the same thing twice, right? There are no rules here. And you guys notice how this paper coordinates with the end papers. So if you were using one of these, you could use the end paper, the end paper. Even though these came out in 2 different launches, they actually do coordinate. You'll find these same end papers in this paper. And I actually made this design first, and I found myself wanting to use the end papers that was behind. So then I made one with just the end papers. Okay, you guys vote for me. Should we go with A, our twins here, or should we go with B, our butterfly lady? Which one? I'm going to let you guys vote because I don't know. I feel like this one might be funner to kind of build a story around. Let's see. Elizabeth says A. So the vote is A, these are twins, or B, the butterfly lady. Rajani says B. Oh, thank you guys. We've got a split vote. So you guys have to participate now. Karen says the butterfly lady. That's her official name too, the butterfly lady. Tina says B. Oh, the butterfly lady is winning. I'm a little distraught. No, I like both of them. Okay, I'm gonna wait 1 more minute and see, and then whatever votes come in, that's what we're gonna do. I do love this like color swatch right here. So I do want to fussy cut this out and use it. Because we use purple. It's just like a little color swatch. B. Okay, so B wins. So we use the butterfly lady. It doesn't matter that we've used her before, right? And this is from the photography master board. I remember when this paper came out, I was like on another creator's page watching her live, and somebody in her audience was like, this paper is weird. It's kind of weird, but you know, so am I. And I'm just fussy cutting this out. And you guys will notice that my scissors are sitting still and I'm moving my paper to get around the details, because that's a lot easier than trying to move my scissors. And some people tell me that when they watch me do this, it just stresses them out. And the thought of fussy cutting just makes them a little ill. But it's a little like, I don't know, it like quiets my mind a little bit. Okay. So we have that piece, which I'll probably be, let me make sure I don't lose. We have texture, physical texture over the paper. And then I have to use one of my collage papers, which is not going to be a big deal for me because we're doing Halloween and I have some black roll-off sheets over there. I am going to fussy cut her out for this project. You guys will notice that my women are always like bad. These are not wimpy looking women. Because she looked like she could jack somebody up if she wanted to. And we are going to paint the back of her so that, but I think, I love the transparency of the wings, but there's already a lot going on behind them. So in my mind, I'm going back and forth. Like, should I just paint her and leave her wings transparent? Which I'm really leaning toward, but this paper, you can already see so much behind the wings. I don't know. I think I might do it just to see what happens. Because I do like the lightness of the wings, right? They feel like they're light because they're transparent. And I kind of want to keep that. I look at these pictures and I just wonder, like, was she a girl's girl? Know what I mean? Or was she just like a mean woman? Or was she a loving wife? Or was she a badass businesswoman? I want to pretend that she was a badass businesswoman in a time when that wouldn't have been acceptable. You guys know I'm always about a story. Okay. That's good enough. I don't need it to be perfect. I'm telling myself that so I can move forward, but my brain won't quite let me. So let me do this little piece. And I'm going to leave the other areas that are bugging me alone because these scissors are bigger, so it does make it a little bit more difficult. Okay. Right, Karen? She's chasing off the bad guys, and she probably has a bike because she is bad. Isn't that crazy, you guys? It used to be illegal for women to drive themselves around, and that the bicycle really was revolutionary because women were able to get around without having to use or get permission from some man. I just can't even imagine. There's so much we take for granted. Right? Try me. Try me if you will. And I think that purple that we used, hers is more muted, of course, but I still think they go together. Tonally, they still look good. And this warm paper on top of the purple did mute it a little bit too. Because we know that orange and purple are on the opposite sides of the color wheel, right? It's not exactly opposite, but they're close to opposite. So I think that the warmer this paper is muting that a little bit. Praise Jesus. Well, I guess yellow is opposite, and the paper is kind of yellow. I'm just going to trim. I can't tell if this is extra paper or it needs to be tacked down. I think it needs to be tacked down. I think it's a little bit of both. And a hot flash is coming, y'all. You know, you can feel it. It's on its way. I think in the next iteration of mankind, if there is one, men should have to have hot flashes and go through menopause. Okay. I'm going to tack down those edges. I'm always so focused to make sure that I have product in the middle that I often miss the edges. Okay. Now the metallic, I can see the a little bit of that spider web, but I don't really know that it's metallic. So that metallic really didn't translate through the paper. So that's something for us to note, right? Because when you make an effort to do something, I mean, kind of, but not really. It's interesting. I wonder if I had just done a light color, if I would have gotten the same results, or if the metallic really is lending to it. Because you can kind of see that it's metallic, but not really. I digress. Let's get our girl painted. I do want to paint her white on the back. And I know people ask, like, why use tissue paper if you have to paint to make it opaque? But I feel like it gives me options. She could have been transparent or opaque. Let's use tissue paper. So if it was an opaque paper, then I wouldn't have the option to even leave the wings transparent, right? And playing with the transparency of your tissue paper is like a whole nother like opportunity for creativity. It really is. Hot flashes are interesting. I don't know if interesting is the word I would use, Rashani. Maybe, Chris. So I'm going to use that same pencil that we used earlier. I'm trying to see where her shoulder ends and the butterfly wings begin. And once I'm able to outline it, then I can just fill it in. And you know, sometimes you won't mind, like sometimes I'll just like go and paint the face, right? So that the face doesn't get lost in the background, and I'll leave the body. It just depends on what I'm doing and how I want things to show up. And you guys will notice that when I'm laying down, like basically we're normally building collages together on Monday, right? And you'll hear me talk about the background versus the foreground versus the midground. And one of the things that can like really make your collage stand out is keeping those things in mind. so that everything doesn't feel like it's on the same plane can make a big difference. And so I always feel like there's a push and a pull. You're pulling things forward, you're pushing the things back. I generally like my backgrounds to be more neutral, right? Because they're not going to compete with what's in the foreground. The one thing I do need to work on though is contrast in my work. And so I'm trying to be more cognizant of that. You know what I think? I think if men had menopause, there would already be medical treatment for it. That's what I think. There's so much that we don't think about because we live in an age where it's less of an issue. But women have only really been like in positions of leadership in medicine for probably the last 40 to 50 years. And so when you think about what kind of afflictions have been prioritized in the medical field, a lot of it doesn't center around women specifically. Okay, let's dry her really quickly. And I could have used the plastic method too for her, where I could have done the 50-50 and used the plastic to lay her down. And I don't have a specific reason why I didn't go that route. I just went this route because I don't know. Because, oh, I was going to show you guys something and I forgot. So we had, I taught my first, like, so if you've ever been to a Roycycled retreat, you guys know that I usually will teach a super quick, high level lesson about like color, right, and color theory. But at Lynn's retreat in New York was the first time that I had like dedicated 2 hours. Actually, we went 3 hours and I still didn't finish the lesson, but that's a whole nother story. To be able to teach the class, but that was my first attempt to teach that class in person. Um, and we were able to do so many experiment. And I'm thinking about recording the class and offering it online. And we're really focusing on understanding color so that you can mix any color that you want. So it's not about like choosing the perfect color palette, although we do talk about that. It really is more about understanding how colors work so that you can get the result that you want. I was on in a group and someone was saying that they had painted something blue and it was way brighter than they wanted it to be, and they wanted to be able to fix it without having to necessarily put on another layer of paint. And I went through the answers, and none of them were wrong. They were just interesting because I probably would have said, which I didn't put anything because it wasn't my group. I'm always conscientious about that. Like, I don't want anybody to feel like I'm, you know, messing around in their territory. But what I would have said if I paint something and it's too bright, I would have done one of two things. I would have either gone over it with a brown glaze to kind of knock it back down some, or I would have made a glaze out of a complementary color and gone over it, and that would have neutralized it some. So understanding how color works really does give you the power to be able to make adjustments so that you can create exactly what you want. I think I'm going to cut this out. Dang it, why don't I have my fussy cutting scissors in here? I wanted to avoid her hand because I don't have my fussy cutting scissors, but I'm going to do it because I have to. There's a TikTok video, and the mom is asking the little girl, "Are you going to be part of the problem or the solution?" That's not exactly what she asked her, but something to that. And the little girl says, "I am the problem." I am fully the problem, you guys. I am the problem. I'm my own problem. Because you guys wouldn't have cared if I would have cut this off, but I got to do it. Exactly, Dorothy. That's what I'm saying. You can use a brown glaze, and it really does knock back the brightness of a color. So now we have, I don't like that like abrupt ending. I'll figure it out because we still have to do some other stuff. So I'm thinking we can put her, oh, like right there, right? Like her arm is like leaning on that frame. I love it. And then we'll figure out her skirt in a few minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and get my anchor roll down. And I could, like, if I were decoupaging her and I didn't want to put medium over the whole background, I would probably just put medium on the back of her. You know what I mean? And then tack her down. And I didn't spray her, but I do have the paint on the back. So I think maybe I won't get as much of a reaction. So like the last time we used her, I actually painted the back of the wings because we were laying her on a metallic frame and I didn't want to knock back the metallic that was on the frame. So I didn't want to put medium on the frame. And if you guys want, because I know not everybody here saw that project, if you guys want to see that project, let me know. Because she is actually on the wall in my living room because I love her so much. That project. Even when I cut through her wings, I still love her. You can barely tell. Okay. I'm just making sure that there's decoupage medium anywhere where I'm going to be laying my paper. And any time that I decoupage like this, I like to call these like medallions, right? I will always go over the entire surface. That brush is too small. Just because I want my sheen to be consistent all the way through my project. And I don't want her to feel like I just tacked her on there. I want her to feel like she's integrated into the project. So I'm going to go over everything with a layer of medium so that my sheen is the same each, for each layer. And a nice isolation layer can separate things so that they do, as you add, you do get dimension, if that makes sense. Okay. What do you guys think? Her arm looks like it's resting on the frame, right? I love her. You love her because she's beautimous. I know, I do. She's painting the bathroom. I'm sorry, Dorothy. That does not sound as fun as being in the studio, but you did just get back from playing in New York, which was so much fun. Medina is such a beautiful community, and the whole week, I was there for a week, and I enjoyed every minute of it. I stayed in like a little boutique hotel, and each of the rooms had different themes to them and were completely different. And my room should have been named Roycycled. I'm not even kidding you. It was exposed brick. I had a crate for a coffee table. I had some old wood sawhorses for bedside tables. There was actually a bus roll, kind of like my subway decoupage paper, like an actual bus roll on the wall. There's a wooden ladder in the corner. Like, seriously, it was a recycled room completely. And there was even an easel in the corner with a big piece of artwork on it. It could not have been more recycled. It was so funny. I didn't take pictures. I did take a little mini video. I'll have to post it and show you guys. And they had a cute little coffee shop downstairs where I got to hang out with some of my besties in the mornings and have coffee and conversation. Dorothy was one of them. I think Dorothy, we probably before of the mornings, we had breakfast together. And they had a cute lounge, but by the time we were at the end of the day, I didn't have energy for lounge, and I was trying to go to bed. Because 9 o'clock for everybody else was midnight for me. And now I'm going to bed early with David and getting up early. It's just the upside down world right now. So I have to use vintage collage paper, which we all agreed I would just use some of my, oh, that would have been cool if I would have put some of this behind her. Let me see what I have over here. See, I like these. It just looks like, I think I'm going to use this. So one of the challenges that I found that I was having when I started doing more representational art is that I didn't have a lot of different kinds of brushwork, right? Like I'm used to just brushing on there and that's it. And so I've been practicing my brushwork, but I don't want to waste. So I'll practice my brushwork on tissue paper and then I can use these marks. So this is a fan brush. And this was just one specific mark that I was making with the fan brush. And I'm just kind of, I want these to become muscle memory. So I'll do like repeats of different kinds of marks. But I've been doing them on tissue paper. So that way I can still use this, right? I can use this for something else. Looks kind of like eyelash, right? I might want to use those on my girl in the suitcase. I digress. Anyways, so if you are practicing your brushwork, like you can do it on tissue, which would be really fun because then you'd have some beautiful collage paper to use for later. And the reason why I love using this tissue paper is because the background like vanishes. I'm going to show you guys right now. And I don't know if this paper is wet string paper or if it is Dollar Tree tissue paper. I think it's wet string, but I'm not certain. This one has a little white on it. I don't like that. Let me see. I don't want any white. I just want the black grunge for this one. And I think I'm going to go the opposite corners that we did for, like we put the heavier stencil here. So let's do the opposite corners for the grunge. And so this is me using my vintage paper slash, not really vintage paper, but that's what we're going to say for this part of the challenge. And when you guys do this, you have to let go of the fear of ruining your piece and just like do the thing. Because I'm often surprised that the thing that I didn't want to do, like putting the paintable decoupage paper over dark, ends up being the magic of the piece. So I'm going to mist this, right? Because I want it to be as see-through as possible. And this is wet string tissue paper, I can tell. And let me get a brush. And the reason why I know it's wet string tissue paper is because it's not falling apart. The Dollar Tree paper, you can use it, but it's a little bit more difficult because it will fall apart when you mist it. So the wet string tissue paper is nicer because you get that transparency. I almost wish, let me see if it'll let me do it. I would have laid it down this way. You guys see what I mean? There's no way that I could do that with regular tissue. The wet string tissue is just more durable. I think I like that better. The other way, it looked like it had like a solid edge on it that I didn't like. And so you see how the tissue, like the actual tissue paper, like virtually disappears, and all you have is that grungy mark there. I think that would be fine. I usually have my clamp on my page, but I didn't grab one. So you can use just a regular binder clamp to clamp down your pages when you're working so that they don't curl. And I'm going to mist that paper. So this is me using my vintage paper. That's not vintage, but you know, we're making do because I'm in the kitchen. I'm not in the shed where all my stuff is. And I'm going to go right over the top of that with my medium. And I'll trim that after it dries. So just a little grunginess, right? I think we needed that. It feels a little out of place though. I think I need to bring it somewhere else. What do you guys think? Like it feels weird just having it on the edges. So I'm just going to bring a little bit. Nope, don't like that. She's not pregnant. I'm sorry, you guys. My mind is like in somewhere else right now. I'll be back. Give me a second to figure this out. Oh, that's the piece that came with the other one. This is what madness looks like, just so you know. I don't know if I like that either. I don't like it. You know what? Vellum is almost like vellum, but it's a lot thinner than vellum, like a lot thinner. Um, Vellum is also, I don't, blah, blah, blah. I think vellum is sealed. The wet string tissue paper, I think it's just tissue paper that's been run under pressure and heat that makes it behave differently than regular paper. I'm almost positive. So it really is super light, super thin, and super transparent when you, it's like a 10 pound, right? Versus the vellum that is generally a little bit more heavier than that. Hey, Miss Ariana, you know what? Are you home? I want to do a FaceTime when I get done. I was going to FaceTime you unannounced today because I feel like it's been forever. Forever. Okay, I'm going to leave it for now. I do think that I need to bring in some more, right? That seems like a lot. Maybe it won't once we do. So I did the vintage paper. Now I still need to add texture. And I'm thinking, what kind of texture do we want to add, you guys? What shall we do? I want to do something about the abruptness here, right? And we could bring that gold back because we did like that. So let's mimic what we did underneath, because I really did like that purple with como se dice, the stencil over the top. So I'm thinking, even if I just do this one corner right here, I'm going to go in with some more of that purple. I'm trying to use very little because I'm using this purple on my painting right now. And it is the last that I have. I need to order some more. Sometimes I'll accidentally order a color that I fall in love with. This one is deep violet, and I love it because it's transparent. Me and my transparency. But that is why I love it, because it's transparent. And if I want it to be opaque, I can just add a little bit of opaque white. But it's enabled me to make some really beautiful glazes on the piece that I'm working on right now. So I don't want to use too much. I'm being stingy with it a little bit. So I'm going to go, I think I'm just going to go like here. Maybe a little, maybe if we add, because I think what's happening is this is really dark. And I know I talked about working on like contrast. It's something that I genuinely struggle with. But it always feels so jarring to me when there's a lot of contrast. And maybe I should just not feel that way. Maybe I just need to add more. And it wouldn't feel, I think maybe if we went down each of the edges a little bit, it wouldn't feel so out of place. Maybe it feels like that because it's like clumpy, for lack of a better word. But let's put some purple paint down here, and then we'll go over that and we'll do a textured stencil over that. Oh, let me think for a moment. Yes, we'll do that. I know David came and saw you guys the day before I got back. I see how he is. And maybe this can ground her a little bit. I don't know. But we're going to find out right now. And like I said, this is a lot brighter than she is, right? So let's do I have a transparent yellow? I do. If we look at our color wheel, this is more like a red violet. And so a yellow green would probably be the best way to neutralize it, but I think a yellow is fine. This is primary yellow and it's transparent. And I know that because it's kind of semi-transparent, because this little square here is empty. And then on golden, they always give you like a swatch so you can see how transparent it is. And so I can add this to, I have some clear gesso here. Should I add it to clear gesso? I'd rather do a clear medium. I cannot believe I did not bring a medium in here with me. We'll just cheat. We'll use some Decoupage medium because that's what we have, and it's clear, to make us a little glaze. Just add a little bit of yellow, and then see if we can neutralize this purple a wee bit. I don't want yellow though. Like I don't want to see the yellow, so I'm gonna add quite a bit of Decoupage medium to this. I wish I have a color that's called, oh, you know what? I'm being a mad scientist for real over here. This yellow is a little bright. So I have, look, turmeric, the turmeric ink from ILD. I'm just gonna put a drop of that in there because I don't want this bright yellow anywhere on my page. It just doesn't belong there. And I'm afraid if I glaze in the areas where there isn't purple, I may end up with that kind of, we don't want that. So we're going to use a little bit of that turmeric so I can get something that's going to be a little bit I don't know, more muted than that bright. But I got yellow in there. You got jelly in my peanut butter. Sorry. Okay. You guys see what I mean? If I had used that bright yellow, I would have ended up with a whole bunch of bright yellows in places, which would not be optimum. And I'm just going to put this color in a couple of other places so that it feels, I probably should have mixed, I could have mixed something that was more in tune with that, but it's okay. We're operating on the fly here. Just knock that purple back a little bit so it's not so bright. I'm going to dry that super quick. And then we will go on to some texture. And I'm thinking that I want to take that stencil and add some spiderweb texture. What do you guys think? And I'm really happy about the texture because she's really blocky here on the bottom, which I don't know why this front part doesn't bother me so much, but this does. And we do still have my little color swatch here. Maybe I'll put that right there. So let's do the spider webs first. I have some heavy body gel here. I wish I had something. So the heavy body gel I can use to make a raised stencil. I wish I had something. I don't have any kind of. Oh, you know what I brought out? Some light modeling paste. So the modeling paste, you guys, I love doing texture with this. We're going to do a raised stencil. We're going to count that as texture. And the light modeling paste stays flexible. So I really do like using it like in my journal. The regular modeling paste dries really hard, but this stays flexible. So it won't like crack off of your page. And I wish I had some kicks out here. We played with adding color to our modeling paste inside the Roycycled Besties membership. And we did discover that if I had to guess, there is a lot of, what is that white called that we all use? You know what happens? I tell myself before I go to say a word that I'm going to forget it, and then I forget. Like my mind needs to stop playing with me. What's the white that we all use, you guys? Help me out. You can just never have to. No, you cannot have too many spider webs. Do I have any kicks in here? I don't think I do. So, see, plutonium is not the right word. I can't think of the right word now. You guys help me out. Titanium. Thank you, Karen. The base of the titanium white is super opaque, and a lot of times when you work with products, it has the same base. And so like this is super opaque. And what that means is when we try to mix colors into it, the colors get washed out. But brands do have tints that are super strong. Like Posh has kicks, and I know Pentart has tints too. I learned that over the weekend. So if I try to color this, I'm not gonna get like a solid color that I want. It's going to be something muted. So I'm trying to decide what I want. If I put metallic in there, I know because we've done experiments that the base, because it's so opaque, it wraps around the metallic and you don't get that shimmer at all. Or I would use that. Oh, you know what we should do? Sorry, I'm just going to waste that. I'll use that for something else another time. I just had an idea. We did love the shimmer of the gold, right? So what if we took some of our heavy body gel and we mixed it with the gold? Then we could make like some shimmery spider webs. I may have to put a little bit. But the heavy body gel is going to give this body, yaddy. Sorry. Put a little bit more in there. And because the heavy body gel is transparent, the gold is actually going to be like metallic. But we're going to be able to make this thick paste using the heavy body gel. And the heavy body gel that I'm using is from Pint Art. This jar is from their art line, but it's the same thing that you get when you buy the heavy body gel. And the others, like the smaller jars. And you guys see how thick that is? So we're going to do some raised stencils because we love those spider webs, right? And I'm going to go make sure that I go over the edge of her skirt with some too. And so I'm going to make sure that I'm holding my, which is a little difficult. I thought I brought a clamp. I am so spoiled. In my shed, I have everything I need. And reasonably, you know, close proximity. So I'm going to go over this, making sure I have good contact between my stencil and the surface. And spread that on there. And I'm just using a palette knife, although I do prefer the rubber knives, and I have some, so I don't know why I'm not using them. I mean, not rubber knives. I do prefer the silicone. And I'm going to go up this way a little bit. Just a wee bit. And I can even, like, I don't have to do a raised stencil all the way up, right? I can just do a regular stencil that kind of fades out. Same thing on this side. Oh man, I should have moved my stencil down a little bit. Dagnabbit. But let's dry that. But can you guys see that? So with the gel medium, I'm able to do a raised stencil and still maintain the metallic nature of my, your large designs are why we love them so much. And now I was able to like cover up that abrupt ending to her skirt a little bit. I'm really sad. I wish I would have pulled that down a little bit. You guys see what I mean? And I may go back in and do something to kind of fix that. It ends abruptly at the bottom. But I'll know next time. So we've added texture on top of our decoupage paper. That was the last challenge. I do want to go around and just add a little bit of, do I even have any? I don't even know if I have any charcoal. I do. I want to go around with a little bit of vine charcoal around her just to push her back, or to push the background back a little bit so that she comes forward. And I think that is going to be it. It's 11:34. These were supposed to be like really quick lives, y'all, when I started. I'm going to do a quick live where I just show up and we just do a page. Yeah, that's not what happens. I may need to put this back right here to fix the top of her skirt. I mean, you know, it just ends so abruptly right there. It's bothering me. And it's because it was behind this color thing. Remember we cut that? So that's going to take a minute to dry. Oh, it's kind of good. I did these areas over here, probably a little too thick. But, so now I have this really cool raised stencil on the top of my paper. And I get to kind of get that metallic back. I think I want to add this in front of her skirt. So that it doesn't look like such an abrupt ending. Like it makes sense for these color swatches to be square, but not for her skirt. Oh man. I am the problem. Again. And I want to cover up her hand, so I'm trying to carve out space for it. Okay. I think if I put that right there, does that look weird, you guys? I think it looks good. And then we still have our other little color swatch. Or maybe I did all that for no reason. I can just put this right here. I vote yes. We'll just put that right there. That looks better. I think I've used every brush in my can so far this morning. And so for this one, I'm going to put it on the back of this and then lay it down. And you guys know what's really cool? So you guys know how to do the iron-on method, right? Where we paint on several coats and then it's dry and you can iron it on your surface. You can do that with medallions too. So if I wanted to, if I was working on something, I put like 2 coats, 1 coat, dry it, a 2nd coat, dry it, and then I could lay this down on my surface and I could iron it, and the heat from the iron would reactivate the glue on the back and it would absolutely stick. So if you're ever working on like a large kind of collage style project and you're wanting to add something, you want to make sure that you don't have wrinkles, you can use the iron-on method, even with the medallion. And then I'm okay with that breathing space there. Let's add, and the reason why I like doing this is because it like pushes the area right around her back so that she can pop forward. And vine charcoal will stay open until you seal it. So what I'm going to do is seal it with just probably some decoupage medium because I have it here. And so just in case you guys did not follow my crazy lady rant, when I was just trying to decide what I was going to use to make my texture, I pulled out the modeling paste, but this modeling paste is super opaque and I knew I wanted to color this. And so ultimately the heavy body gel, because it's transparent, I knew would show the color better, so I ended up going with that. Oh, good. I hope so. That's always my joy, is to be able to teach. I mean, even if you learn by watching me mess up, girl, that still counts. And so you guys remember how we talked about the background, the foreground, the midground, right? So anything back here is like the background. She's in the midground, and then like this stuff here that's popping way forward is in the foreground. So that's how you can add dimension to your project, is really by keeping that in mind when you're creating. So like I wouldn't want to put something really bright into my background, because then it's going to compete with the foreground. And I'm just going in with a little bit of decoupage medium, and that's going to seal my charcoal so that it doesn't move anymore. And you could use anything. You could use your medium if that's what you have in your space. If you have water-based varnish or top coat or clear coat, they're all kind of the same. You can use that too to do this. I'm just using my decoupage medium because that's what I have right here. I really didn't want to get that on her face, but I did a little bit. So we're just adding that so that we can push the area right around her back a little bit so that she pops forward. Doesn't she look more dimensional now after we put the charcoal on there? And so I think that's it for today's project. Nobody wanted to see my mixed media art piece using her last time? That's fine. Use the title over color swatch. Use a little oval. Oh yeah, that's what I ended up doing. Good call. I used a little oval one. I covered up her hand, but that's fine. We know that's her hand, right? And I'm tempted to put something over there, but I'm not going to. I think that having that resting space is actually looks really good. You're not supposed to have a triangle like that though for composition, but it's fine. It's fine. I can't leave it. I'm going to put a little bit. I'm just going to put a little bitty spider web right here. Not a big one though, just a little one. And maybe I'll just make it a stencil because I don't have a lot left. I don't think I have enough left to make it a raised stencil. So we'll just do that. That way it's like barely there. I think that actually is going to work better. Now, somebody asked me last week if I would consider, I don't know how I feel about that. I'm going to leave it. Somebody asked me if I would consider making this a spiral bound journal versus having it like this. What do you guys think about that? I'm going to start taking some input on that and see. Because I am going to be creating another journal. When? I don't know. Because, you know, it takes a lot to get them produced. But I'm already working on the design. But that's it. Hey, Connie, how are you? Yes, let's see. Okay. So this is, what should we name her? And it's, I mean, it's not really Halloween like we set out to do, but it is kind of like spooky, right? Kind of dark academia-ish. Let me grab the other piece that we did with her. Oh my gosh, I move a little slow after sitting on this stool for a while. So this is the piece that we created with her before on one of our Mad Mondays. And we did a piece of, this was an old sign that I scored at the thrift store. And so we painted it out and we gave her a crown. We used the Roycycled paper doll stencil to make her, to extend it. And this is from the end papers. And then we also used some transfers and we used the warm topography as a background for this. So this one was really fun. I literally, she lives in my living room because I love her so much. even though I cut through my wing. I cannot believe I did that, but you can't really see it if you don't know. And we're using her again today because, I don't know, I like her. But that's all I have for you guys today. Did you guys have any questions about any of the products we used today? Do you have any, Royce, why on earth did you do that questions today? I'll answer them before I go, but otherwise, that's all I have for today. You guys, I will be live on Thursday for the IOD release, and I'll be here with, my goal is to show up and just show the products. So I may do a project depending on how much time we have. Hold on, let me change cameras really quickly. Depending on how much time we have, I may do a project. I'll have something outlined, but what I like to do is just show up with everything, and I'll have a tape measure, and you guys can come on. You could ask me questions. What does it feel like? What does it look like? What size is it? What size is this part? How thick is it? Like all that. Because sometimes it's hard to gauge just looking at a picture online. So I'll open the packages. We'll cast some molds so you guys can see what those look like. And that'll be Thursday. Don't ask me what time. I'm going to make an event. And so if you guys follow me, you can sign up for alerts so that whenever I schedule a live, you guys will get an email letting you know that I've scheduled the live, and then you guys will get an email whenever I go live. If you sign up for alerts from the Roycycled Treasures YouTube channel. And for Facebook, yes, I'll be creating a live event on Facebook as well. So if you are on Facebook, you can go over to events and you can like sign up to get an alert over there so that you know when I go live. They don't always do it though. So usually I'll go on our Word on the Street channel about 15 or 20 minutes before we go live, and I'll drop a note just reminding you guys. I try to do that. But this was so fun. Thank you guys so much for playing with me today. You guys, I beg of you, please, 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 if you're a creative person, and I know those of us who have businesses, this is a particular challenge, right? Make time in your creative practice where you're just experimenting and playing and asking yourself what would happen if, because it is in those moments where the magic happens and you discover something. So take time to experiment and to play. Remember, where experimentation goes, creativity follows. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys on Thursday. Have a blessed day.